Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One Hub Racing. We are here for the final time in season 25, and when I say we, I of course mean Colin. Welcome back to the commentary box. You missed your dad's win last week.
I know. What a time for me not to do commentary. Um, but as you know, I obviously was fortunate to get home from the rugby just in time to watch the majority of the race and joined you in the box at the end. Yeah. Still buzzing after that one, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race, and hope we didn't show too much bias towards John, but at 69 years old, battling out with some of these younger sim racers, it's great to see that he's got the know-how and the skill to stand on the top step.
Yeah, I mean it was such a well executed race from Dad. Um, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying this, but normally there's a few errors that creep in, either strategy or just struggles a little bit with race pace, but none of that last week. It was just complete domination, really. You know, he had a grand slam, so he had pole, fastest lap, and the race win. So
It was
his
tactful.
confidence should be high. Yes,
He was
yes,
so
very much
tactful
so.
with the way he deployed his ERS.
And we got to give a lot of credit to Proverb as well because he spent so much of that race behind Mason, not quite close enough to have a go, but never got frustrated, never did anything daft, and it was a great second place from Proverb as well.
Yeah, and all of these drivers are going to be battling for third in the championship. Now, obviously, drivers and constructors championship to be decided tonight. And the one that I find is going to be most interesting is this constructors championship, Colin, with just 7 points separating the top two.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in it. Really is nothing in it. So you've got Alpine, which is Skrillex and Lawrence on 198 points, and then you got the Ferrari of Cowboy and M125 on 191 points. So, and it's been quite a disappointing season for Cowboy. So, even though he won the first race of the season, he is, after having a few DNFs this season, he is down in 15th place. So I'm sure Cowboy's going to be extra keen to try and get this championship wrapped up for Ferrari.
Yes, obviously, Cowboy and M125 were teammates last season as well. So they're no stranger to heading into battle. But yeah, it's the fact that we're separated by 7 points after 11 rounds of a season, including sprint races. I think is a pretty good testament to the admins for deciding the tiers. Obviously, the drivers decided the teammates themselves, so maybe give them a little bit of credit. But the Drivers' Championship, Cole. Lawrence leads the way with a gap of 21 points. Now, we're not looking at countback, so mathematically, M125 could tie for points with him this season. And then we'll confirm at the end of the stream what that would mean for countbacks. But at the moment, the gap is 21 points. A win and a fastest lap from M125 could mean they both finish on 166 points if, of course, Lawrence doesn't score.
Yes, exactly that. Obviously, these results will be provisional regarding any stewards' results that could come out as well. So drivers are going to have to be pretty careful as well. You know, they don't want to make any silly errors that could cost them in the championship as well. Um, of course, the drivers know the weather as well for tonight's race. So qualifying is going to be light cloud to overcast, and the race will be overcast to light cloud and then clear at the end of the race. And Nick, from the practice that I've seen and watched, the varying track and air temperatures from the overcast weather makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it makes the track feel and look a little bit greasy. So I personally found that when it hits overcast in qualifying, there isn't the same levels of grip. Track temperatures obviously decreased as well, so you weren't able to get the same level of grip through those chicanes that you need. And so I think some of the lap times, I could be wrong here, of course, but some of the lap times early on in the session or towards the middle of the session, I think could be the ones that determine pole position here for the finale in Canada.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult, this track. It's one of my favourite tracks that I raced on, but so easy to invalidate, so easy to pick up time penalties. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a number of drivers invalidate their laps in qualifying. You don't really want to invalidate the first one, then that adds a little bit of extra pressure.
Yeah, and of course, it's one of the shorter tracks on the calendar, which means that if drivers head straight out and they selected the softer compound, they'll be able to do 4 runs here in this 18-minute qualifying session. So it'll be interesting to see whether any drivers are going to take advantage of that. Obviously, we will restart after this qualifying session before we do the race. And Jess is the first driver out on track in her Red Bull. And Colt, before we get onto these qualifying laps and the 17 drivers here tonight, I want to quickly just run through third in the Drivers' Championship, because this one is far from over. And of course, you do get a trophy if you finish third in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, it's so close. This one is impossible to call. So currently in third place is Mason on 103 points. In fourth place, only 3 points behind him on 100 points, is Whopping Proverb. In fifth place then is Cam on 99 points. Ghost in sixth is on 96 points. And then even Funky in seventh place on 85 isn't out of the running. So this one is, you're going to need to have a mathematical brain like Stephen Hawking to keep track of this one.
Yes, we will try our best to keep everyone updated with who's in what position in the championship. As you mentioned, it'll be all pending stewards' investigations, and you can see the white smoke of a lockup from Proverb, which they've meant to have fixed in the latest patch, but they've actually made it worse. So, yeah, you can see all the smoke left there at the hairpin from the Mercedes as he's warming up his tyres. Cole, 17 drivers, traffic's going to be a bit of an issue here.
Yes, definitely, especially like you said, Nick, with such a short lap as well. You know, drivers have got to be very careful. They don't want to catch up anyone, you know, that's on a hot lap, and they've got to be very careful of blocking anyone else's lap, as Jess does manage to get out in front, and so she's got a nice clear track. And for those of you who don't know, Jess has just come off the back of racing in the Women's Esports Championship, which was broadcasted on YouTube, on the Sky Channel, and she did exceptionally well, so that's given her some confidence, I would have hoped.
She'll be signing autographs at the end of the season. Will Jess. Now, interestingly, Jess has gone to the left-hand side of the track to complete her lap, as she's does a 10.6, 0.2 quicker than Lawrence. But Cole, a lot of drivers will stick to the right-hand side near the Wall of Champions and just straight line it. Lap time in that to gain if drivers are doing that?
I think so, yes. Not a lot. You know, maybe a couple of hundredths. But it's definitely, you know, we've seen it so close before in the past. You know, the difference between first, second, third. So definitely worth doing, you know, shortest distance to the line, and you do see the real Formula One drivers do the same.
Yeah, riding on board with Quinn as he exits the final chicane. This is a chicane, Cole, which can gain you 3-4 tenths. If you can throw the car in to that chicane and it sticks, you can go 3 or 4 tenths quicker than perhaps you previously thought. So how tricky do you think it's going to be for drivers to be consistent there in the race? You know, this race could be decided on penalties from corner cuts. Here comes Cam. He's coming into the pits, so he must have invalidated his afforded his final lap. M125 is on a quick lap now. So, yeah, a short lap and lots of places to invalidate.
Yes, as I see in the background there, OKK coming out of that last chicane, sliding all over the track.
M125's in the wall, middle chicane. He's just got a bit of wing damage there as he gets his car into a safe position to continue. Yellow flags are out, of course, and he'll be heading back to the pits get some repairs, and go out again. So advantage Lawrence at the moment. Lawrence is half a second off Ghost's time from that first run, and 30 minutes left in the session, Cole, and there's only 8 drivers who have set a lap, so a lot of those drivers who haven't must have been validated.
Yeah, I think so. This is the tricky nature of this track. It's so easy to invalidate, and I've seen drivers as well, you know, invalidate the chicane as they start their lap, and then that invalidates that lap. So it's over even before they've started it. So it's a lot of pressure on these drivers. Luckily, they're going to have plenty of laps to have a go as Mason starts his run.
KK coming into the chicane on those medium tyres. I think he might be doing the same strategy that we've seen him do in previous sessions, as he's not using the DRS. I think he's just doing a bit of race simulation practice here. So good luck to him. He'll obviously want to find out some information. Matthias in 13th place at the moment, yet to set a lap time into this hairpin. Do you think this will be where we see the moves, or do you think drivers are going to wait for this DRS zone? It's such a long DRS zone, and then you get both, obviously, the DRS down here and down the pit straight.
Yes, I think they probably will wait. I have seen manoeuvres done into the hairpin before, and of course, if you time it, I think the detection point, is the detection point before the corner or after it? I think it's before it.
It's before the hairpin, yeah. So
you will actually have the advantage of DRS to defend then down the main straight. So very, very difficult corner to overtake cleanly. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Yeah, and there's OKK again on the mediums. A very good strategy, I think, from OKK. Does it quite often, doesn't he?
Yeah, if you haven't done much practice, you know, and you think you're going to be towards the back anyway, why not use this as a bit of a, you know, a qualifying session, see what those mediums are like. We expect the medium to be the favoured tyre in the race. I don't think we'll see too many drivers use the soft compound unless there's sort of a late safety car or something like that. Skrillex, involved in this championship battle, comes through the chicane, took that quite nicely. What's he going to do? He's going to go middle of the track, and he's going to come across the line and do an 11.1. So slots in just behind his Alpine teammate. They're currently 7th and 8th at the moment. Cowboy is up in 6th, and his teammate M125 is down in last after that spin. What's Cam going to do? He looks like he had a bit of slipstream there, which he chose not to take advantage. It's a 10.6 on his next 5 runners. Jess goes with a 10.3, and then Lawrence does a 10.2. So the short nature of this track means it is going to be a close qualifying session.
What a lap from Jess. Now, I know that we were speaking just before qualifying started, and her target was a 10.5 because that was her best lap that she's done. She's now gone and smashed that with a 10.3 and currently on the front row.
Here comes Salou. 10.2 as well, just behind Lawrence. So mega tight between the current front row. Now, Colin, keep an eye. These next 3 minutes, I think, are going to be key to determining the grid order, because as Joe now pops in with a 10.0, I do think you'll see the clouds start coming over and the track becoming more and more greasy. But Joe leading the way in the Williams at the moment. They're 1st and 3rd. Had Joe been, you know, joined at the start of the season, Cole, himself and Salou could have definitely fought for this Constructors' Championship.
Oh, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. The performance from both the Williams drivers has been absolutely superb. Salou, obviously new to league racing, and has just improved race after race after race. And I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his first one-hub victory. He's got a podium, but he's put himself in.
Quinn's invalidated and hit the wall there through the final chicane, so he'll have to come back to the pits and get a new set of boots on. What about M125? He's popped into 2nd, so look at that. Advantage Ferrari at the moment, I'd have to say. Lawrence up there in 3rd, but Skrillex down in 11th. So look at it, they're both Ferraris are just ahead of the Alpines in qualifying at the moment.
Oh, it's going to be tight. It's really going to be tight. Skrillex in the pit lane at the minute, down in 11th. Cowboy there in 10th. M125 in second, so this Constructors' Championship is going to go down to the wire, I think.
Proverbs a 10th up on his latest lap, currently in 8th position, finished on the podium last time in Silverstone. What sort of straight line speed is he got? Using these ERS now, choosing to use it not on the first half of this straight, but on the second half. Oh, that's interesting. Quite steady through the chicane. There's a bit of carbon fibre there from Quinn's car, and he's going to come across the line. It's going to be a 10.3, so he moves up slightly ahead of Cam. Who else is on a lap?
Such a close grid, isn't it? I mean, you've got Joe on a 10.0, Proverb on a 10.3, and there's 7 cars between them. It's really, I think that short distance to the line that drivers are going to make a big difference tonight if anyone chooses to do it.
Your dad's on a lap, currently in 9th position. 6 pole positions he's taken in this P2 tier this season, and he hadn't got himself a pole until this season, I believe. So I think one of his aims was getting 1, and he ended up with 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, astonishing pace that Mason's got in qualifying. Showed it in the race last week. Oh, big cloud of smoke you can see. That's going to be quite distracting for the drivers.
Half a second up.
It's a good run. This is looking a good lap. He's still got quite a bit of ERS left as well. DRS wide open. Now, can he negotiate this chicane well? Just about does it. Keeps it out of the wall. Sticks it in the middle, and it's a 10.5. No, sorry, 10.1. Puts it in P3. Great lap.
Yeah, I think we're going to see these times come tumbling. Who's this? Ghost is on a lap here, is he? And he's getting... Or is he coming into the pits? No, he's invalidated, so he's coming into the pits. But he was getting slipstream there. I'm not really seeing too many silly buggers from any teammates trying to give each other some slipstream here. The Ferrari of Cowboy, though, currently in 10th position, is 3 tenths up as he completes Sector 2. So we'll jump over with him. Oh no, he's invalidated. It's red, so he'll have to come into the pits.
One thing I'm surprised about, Funky is now on the track, so Funky has yet to set a time. Rageman's in the pits as well,
so both RBs.
Those drivers haven't got long left.
Yes, and you can see it's starting to get, the track's just looking that more light grey. It's starting to look a little bit greasy. So will that affect, track temperature? Will that affect tyres? How will that affect the grip through these chicanes? You can see the Alpine of Skrillex is coming up to some traffic here, which we mentioned. Once Sal, the kick, gets out the way, he's got a Mercedes now. That was a beautifully done hairpin, by the way. And he's got a Mercedes in front of him. Will the Mercedes give him a little bit of... I reckon this is a little bit of slip.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, he'll definitely get a bit of slipstream there. He doesn't want to get too close to Proverb into the braking zone with dirty air. Negotiates it well.
He'll get it here as well. Yeah.
Yeah, what's this going to be? It's going to be another 10.7. Puts him up into 11th place. That's and importantly ahead of the Ferrari of Cowboy.
So we have now 13 drivers within 9/10 of a second. Who else is on a lap? Salu's on a lap. He matched his first sector time, nice and aggressive through the final, the second final chicane of sector 2 into the hairpin. He's slightly up. So this is going to be all about nailing the power here, which he does beautifully. The Ferrari gets out of the way. And Cole, talk us through what's heading through your mind as you're heading towards this chicane. It's so important to your lap.
It's so important. You've got to pick your braking zone at the perfect time. Find it. Hit the brake. Then you're looking for the apex. Don't cut it too much. Careful on the exit. Do the shortest distance like Salo is. Let's have a look, and it's a 10.2 up into 5th place. I think he improved. I think he was just down on his lap in the end. But if you can consistently do that chicane like that and every lap in the race, you're going to do well.
Oh, someone's hit the... So Skrillex hit the Mercedes into the pit lane there. And so the Mercedes was coming into the pits, and Skrillex just didn't get the car slowed down quick enough and went into the back of him with wing damage. So, drivers now in the pits, selecting a new set of boots. Salou, I don't think we might have enough time for another lap actually. Quinn, no, this is his final attempt, I believe.
And here's Quinn now. Oh, a bit of a slide. He's got a car ahead of him. I think it's a V carb.
RB.
DRS wide open. This is my favourite corner on the track. Just brake under the bridge. Ride the first curb, ride the second curb, keep it within track limits, and now head towards the hairpin. Such a tricky braking zone, this one. Easy to outbrake yourself.
That was nicely done.
A little bit wide, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good exit speed. You can see that he's actually gained on the RB ahead a little bit.
And this is going to help in the slipstream.
Certainly will. Pick your braking point. Pick your turning point. Very nice from Quinn. Very nice. Shortest distance to the line. Keep it to the right. And it's a 10-2 up into 6th place. Great lap from Quinn.
Yeah, 9/10 of a second improvement. Who else is on a lap? Your dad, JR Mason. He's 2 tenths up after 2 sectors. Could this be a pole position lap from your dad? Pole number 7. Let's see. Right on board it through the final chicane. Does he chuck it in? He chucks it in there. Uses the curve on the outside as well. Keep it to the right hand side, which is what he's doing. What's it going to be? It's a 109.7.
Wow. Absolutely astonishing. The bravery that he showed in that chicane. It's like watching a different driver this season. I've never seen him attack corners like he's doing. A 9.7. What a lap.
There's loads of drivers on a lap now, so can anyone match or better that one? If not, it'll be pole number 7 for JR Mason. The track is looking greasy, but what are these drivers going to do? Ghost retires. Proverbs just about to start his lap, so every single driver is starting a lap, or on a lap, other than Salou. So I don't even know who you want to ride on board with. Just keep an eye on that timing screen on the left.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be so hectic now. Rage, he's not going to improve. Rage crosses the line. Who else have we got? Skrillex. Skrillex is a 10th up. Down in 13th at the minute, fighting for this Constructors' Championship. Set a really good first sector.
3 drivers still to cross the line, 20 seconds left in the session. JR Mason's into the pits, he's done his best. Cowboy's into the pits, he won't be improving. Salou, is he going to make it? I don't think he's going to make it. Is he? I can't see the time.
No, I can't see the timing board at the minute. Let's have a look when he crosses the line.
Ooh, 3 seconds. He made it.
Ooh, just about.
But he's very close to his teammate. He's very close. So both Williams, look at this. They're very close together. This is too close, I think. I think Joe's going to have to back out of this. He's made a mistake. Or is he going to hold his teammate up?
And Jess improves. Jess improves to a 10.277. Puts her in 7th place. Without a shadow of a doubt, her best qualifying of the season. So yeah, we got Ghost and Rage retired from the session. Now they're going to be in 10th and 11th. On board Cam now. Can Cam improve? He really needs to get higher up on the grid if he wants to fight for that 3rd place.
Joe backed out of his lap.
It's going to be tight. He keeps it to the left. Oh, this is going to be a good lap. It's P2. It's P2 for Cam. What a lap. A 9.8 from Cam. Brilliant.
M125 is currently in 4th position. What about Lawrence? These two, of course, battling for the Drivers' Championship. It would be both of their 2nd Drivers' Championships. And Lawrence is into the pits because he invalidates. So he won't be improving. Anyone else? Salou improved up to 3rd position ahead of his teammate. But JR Mason has taken another pole position.
That's astonishing. That's lucky number 7 poles for Mason. Absolutely astonishing. I don't know what to say. I mean, what a lap. I mean, he has definitely been the qualifier of the season.
Yeah, in both tiers, has to be said. And he's up for to get himself a pair of pure sim gear, either gloves or socks. Obviously, the combined fastest laps and pole positions will award the driver with a pair of those. And you're going to see that Skrillex got that 5-second penalty. I'll let you run through the order quick.
Yeah, so Mason there gets the 7th pole of the season. Cam will sit on the front row alongside of him. Salu and Joe, the two Williams drivers, in 3rd and 4th. M125 in 5th place. Then we have Lawrence in 6th. Then Quinn, Jess, Matthias, Proverb, Ghost, Rage, OKK, Skrillex, Cowboy, Funky, and Trash Panda will start in 17th.
So, 1 second covered the top 14 drivers here in the P2 tier in Canada. Ignore everything you're about to see on screen because they will retire from this session and we will do a new lobby. And what I want to quickly ask you, Cole, if your dad did win that award, is he going to go for a pair of socks or a pair of gloves?
Oh, I'm pretty certain he'll go for gloves, I think. I would have thought so anyway. Yeah, so it's going to be very, very tight. I know between Mason and I think the other one's going to be Tony in P1. It's still very, very, very close between them. So that award is still not decided.
Alrighty, so you can see here in the pit lane in Canada, as we said, this will be just a quick, someone left formation lap on. Not sure. Nope, they haven't. So you can see the drivers will just retire. They have to do so before the end of Sector 1. So nice bit of fun here for some of the drivers, test how durable their F1 car is. And then we'll go back to the lobby and we will get the grid set up for the race. No one taking engine penalties here tonight, Cole, so we don't need to worry about that. Obviously, Skrillex does have that 5-place grid penalty for hitting the back of another car into the pits. But yeah, final race here in Canada. It's been a season. It's been a hell of a season.
Oh, it's been such a fantastic season. I've absolutely loved every second of it. And the standard of driving has been exceptional in P2. We've hardly had, I think the most instant reports from P2 has been 3 in one round, which is astonishing, and it really does show the class of the drivers in this tier. And there's, everyone's been very, very respectful in the tier chats as well. It's been a brilliant season, but the titles are still not decided. The trophies aren't decided yet. We've still got another race to do. Let's see what happens in approximately 40 minutes.
Yeah, and you've got M125 in 5th on the grid, Lawrence in 6th on the grid. Skrillex is going to start last on the grid, and Cowboy will be starting 14th. So you have to say, on qualifying, just on that alone, advantage Ferrari.
Yes, it is. It certainly is advantage Ferrari at the minute. We've seen it in the real Formula One where Ferrari have been trophyless since, I think, 2008, I think, was their last trophy that they won in the real Formula One. Can M125 and Cowboy change that this evening?
Yes, it remains to be seen. And let's have a quick look at the database, because we have the team's stats here. And I believe they're up to date. So Ferrari currently has, and this is across Ferrari's career in One Hub Racing, 85 wins, 290 podiums, funnily enough, the same podiums as Red Bull, 70 pole positions, 9,295.5 points, 5 drivers' championships, and 7 constructors' championships. Cole, without looking, who do you think? Which team do you think is the most successful?
Oh, I'm going to go Mercedes.
Yes, so Mercedes has 130 wins, 378 podiums, 134 pole positions, 11,039 points, 14 drivers' championships, and 12 constructors championships. So they're the only
Wow.
ones into double digits in the constructors, and their closest drivers is Williams, who have 10 championships. So there you go, nice bit of one hub racing, rich history for you there.
It'll be very interesting now to see how many drivers actually choose Mercedes um, going forward, with obviously Lewis jumping across to the Prancing Horse team for 2025. Um, we know I know there's a lot of team supporters, but there's a lot of driver supporters as well who follow the drivers. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I suspect there's going to be a list for Jamie with people wanting Ferrari in 2025.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, you've got to remember as well for this season, there were some certain stipulations to when you signed a contract with a team. That if you didn't meet their objective, you wouldn't be able to. So if drivers fail to meet the season objective for their team, they will not be able to drive for the same team next season. So that'll be something to for the drivers to consider. So for example, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull. Um, their objections this season. They wanted to finish in the top three in the Constructors' Championship, and they wanted their drivers to finish in the top five. So if they don't meet that, they won't be able to drive for those three teams this season. Next season, sorry.
Exactly that. It's another fantastic thing that One Hub do. You know, to try and make it as immersive as possible into the world of Formula One. It's not just about turning up, doing a race, and then going home. It's trying to give the drivers a full experience.
Yeah, definitely. And if we have a quick look at Lawrence, we were looking at this last week. So he won his drivers' championship in season 22 when there were three tiers. And M125 obviously only joined in season 24 and he won the championship there. So yeah, just shows you both have a drivers' championship to their name. Lawrence obviously a lot more experience having raced in one hub for some I think 10 plus seasons.
Yeah, I actually think M125's had driven a better season than when he actually won the championship. To be honest, um, and I'd say the same with Lawrence as well. They really have performed very, very well all season. Very clean, very clinical. No daft maneuvers. Um, Kept it clean, and still going down to the last race. So all to play for. The constructors is going to be even more interesting, really. Um, but with Skrillex at the back of the grid, he's got a lot of work to do to get back to the points.
Yeah, Canada though, anything can happen. We know the weather, but we don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to meet the wall here in the season 25 finale in Canada? It's so easy to nick a tire off at that final chicane, and when the tires get worn here, the rear it just doesn't want to cooperate. So I expect to see a few safety cars, maybe a virtual safety car or two as well. Colt, all to look forward to here, and then of course the P12 will be live for the final time in Canada at 7 p.m. So, but you mentioned obviously
Yeah,
Colt how great the driving standard's been since Baku when we had that safety car. The P1 tier has only had one safety car since then, which I know will make you grate your teeth, but it just
no
shows you
comment.
the quality of driving in both tiers this season. From a steward's perspective, I don't know if you want to add anything on that side, but it's been great.
Well, I just first, while the guys do their formation lap, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved, really. Um, you've made the stewards' life very, very easy, to be honest, this season. It's definitely the easiest one we've had. I think so, anyway. The driving standard's been brilliant. Everyone's been respectful. Um, you know, some great comments and feedback as well, particularly from Kazman. and it's always very constructive, very polite, and to help everyone. Um, and, we don't sit still here at OneHub. We're forever evolving and improving. So if there's anything that any driver thinks, hang on, I think that's a better idea, please fire them our way. It's we only get better with the feedback that's given to us as well. But I just like to thank every driver for being very respectful in the chats as well, because it just makes it a nicer place to be.
Well said, Cole. And you can see in the pit lane, we can see what tyres that Trash Panda's on or selecting, and we can see what tyres M125. So we can see two garages that will show us what race starting tyre. This has been a little joke of ours throughout the season. So Trash Panda looks like he's on mediums. Currently M125 showing as softs. So that'll be an interesting decision. He'll be looking to make early moves if he starts on those soft compounded tyres. Let us know who you're cheering for in the chat. We can see there's a couple who are saying that Hope Lawrence has his best race of his life. He would become a two-time OneHub Racing champion if he was to even score a point here tonight. So not too much pressure. He's just got to keep it out the wall. Do you think you'll be feeling the pressure, Colin? Do you think with that sort of gap you're going to be feeling pressure, or would you feel pretty calm?
Bit of column A, bit of column B, to be honest. As long as you get 12th, you're safe. But in that aspect, that sometimes makes you a little bit overcautious going for manoeuvres. And then that could end you up in more trouble than if you just race normally. So obviously Lawrence is probably going to be more comfortable. M125, his job is very, very simple. Go for it and get the race win and try and get the fastest lap on the way. So, but yeah, it's to be honest, I think the main pressure tonight is going to be on Cowboy and Skrillex to try and help clinch the constructors.
Alrighty, so we got the formation lap to go. I saw the M125 switched over to the hard compounded tyre, but nope, he's gone to medium. So playing silly buggers with us there. But a mixture, mostly the drivers choosing to start on that medium compounded tyre as expected. We got Cam, Lawrence, Matthias and Ghost all choosing to go onto the soft compounded tyre. And Rageman in 12th position, choosing the hard compound, the one that he wants to start the race on.
I think what Cam has done here by choosing the soft tyre is, I think it's a really, really clever decision. He knows he's got to beat Mason to be in a hunt for that third place. So I suspect he's gone, sod it, let's go on the softs, let's get a good start, let's see if I can jump Mason into turn one and try and get out a lead. These drivers also know it's a very twisty track. The walls are very, very close. There's a high chance of a safety car in the first few laps as well. So that could then help the soft runners as well. Rageman starting on the hards. That's a brave call, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting strategy. He'll be looking to go long early on, from early on in the race. Maybe try and take advantage of some safety cars late on. I can't tell how it's going to work out. I just know that these softs don't last very long. So yeah, for the final time this season, this formation lap is coming to an end, a nice short one. You can see the Williams drivers there, 3rd and 4th. We mentioned that Joe backed out of his final run to allow Salou to finish his and improve. So yeah, all to play for. Remember, 7 points separate Ferrari and Alpine in the Constructors' Championship. 21 points separate the top two in the championship. That is Lawrence and M125. As we said, we're not looking at countback yet. So technically speaking, M125 could still win the Drivers' Championship. But plenty to play for here as the 5 red lights are about to come on for the final time, Colin, of season 25. Here we go. We've got a rubbish camera angle as per usual. I can hardly see the lights, but I can see a couple of them red in the top left-hand side, and they're out. And it looks like the soft compound tyres have got away well. JL Mason, second phase. He does have the inside. Cam's trying to go around the outside and manages to do so on those soft compounded tyres. Keep it clean, boys. It's tight round turn 1 and 2. Easy to spin, but plenty to play for here in Canada. 35 laps, and we're underway, Colin.
What a brilliant start from Cam. Really, really brave going around the outside. That was absolutely brilliant. Really nice, clean start from the drivers as well. I don't see any, there was no yellow flags, no wings going anywhere. Great start from the drivers.
Yeah, Rageman's lost 5 positions, but he's still right at the back of the field, so I don't know if that was due to an incident. Either way, he's on the back of the field. Proverb, the Mercedes, is cutting the chicane, and losing a couple positions, now down in 14th place. But as you said, no one losing out massively from the start. As you were just saying prior, lovely and clean. You can see that Skrillex is trying to make a move on the Mercedes man up into 14th position. Follow that as we go down. Cam's got the gap at a second now.
Yes, he's got that important second lead to stay out of DRS. He's got to use this soft tyre run now and just absolutely gun it. Oh, as Rage gets an early 3-second time pen. Skrillex now fighting with Proverb as well. And look at Funky and Proverb side by side round turn 2. Great driving.
Yeah, and it looks like no, Skrillex backed out of it. But Proverb all out of sorts there through this chicane. The track looks greasy. Cam's got it 1.2 seconds now between the top two. And down the inside tries to go Rage, and he makes contact with the rear of Trash Panda. I'm pretty confident that that one was more on Rage than the new Mercedes man who joined for last week. We can see that Lawrence has lost a position now, down into 7th. He was in 6th. He's lost a position now to Joe. So Lawrence currently in 7th place, with his teammate in 15th, and then you've got the Ferraris in 4th and 12th at the moment.
Yes, still. Oh, as Rage, I guess another 3-second time penalty. He's having a bit of a nightmare evening, the RB driver, but still very, very close. And Mason sets the fastest lap of the race on his mediums. Not letting Cam get away with this one. But Lawrence now on the softs. You can see that there's going to be a bit of a DRS train soon. Quinn is just outside M125's DRS. Rage gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let's see if he's got any damage.
He's having a night to forget, but safety car could bring him back into play. Obviously, penalties will harm him. So Jess is on the back of this train at the moment with Cowboy 1.5 behind her. DRS here is pretty powerful. You're going to want to stay within DRS of the car in front. And you can see that Jess is gaining on these soft runners. So I think she's in a good position here. She can just follow these soft runners, use their pace early on when the tyres start to drop off. Try and take advantage. Joe here is going to look to maybe do a move on Quinn using DRS.
Oh, it's going to be close. Is he close enough to have a go into the chicane? Thinks better of it.
Cam's in.
That's very, very early. Very early. Only lap 2. And
he's going to come out in last place. Well, other than Rage.
This is a very interesting tactic from Cam here. He's out now on fresh, hard tyres, and he's gonna have clear air. But like you said, Nick, he's right at the back of the field. So this is an interesting decision. I did not see this strategy coming, to be honest.
Yeah, Cowboys left the session. Hopefully they'll be able to get back in. Currently in 10th place. Ferrari need those points. They both need to be beating. You'd have to say the number 1 driver in the team is going to be M125 and Lawrence. So each needs to beat each other, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me. OKK up into 10th position. And the Mercedes and Funky trying to follow through on the Ghost on the Ferrari. That's heartbreaking because they needed those points.
Yes, it's that is not helpful for them at all. But
back
OKK, Ah, oh, brilliant. Nice to see him back in. Let's hope that he has no problem taking hold of his car. Shout out to Akeke up in 10th, having his best race of the season so far, as I just jinx him as Provo overtakes him. But he's having a good race here.
Yep, in the Aston Martin, his teammate is leading. You can see that gap now has come down between the top two. So Salu's going to have a nice tasty dosing of DRS on this mini straight here. Then on the main back straight. And what's happened is Lawrence is going slowly. Your championship leader is going slowly. He's dropping down the order. He's now in 12th position.
I think he spun. I saw him just as he was coming back onto the track. So he is not happy with these soft tyres. You know, you can see that the grip level of these tyres, they've gone. So I suspect that he will probably box at the end of this lap. Yeah, you can see him. He's really struggling on exit. He's sliding all over. It's like it's on ice.
Those rear temps must be through the roof. Currently down in 12th position. So I just saw someone ask on stream, for his Drivers' Championship, he needs to finish 12th or get the fastest lap outside the top 10. And will he get the car slowed down? He does. But I tell you what, M125 is up in 3rd position. Cowboy's back into the points and back in his car. It's battle on for the constructors.
Here we go. Now Cowboy's really got to give it some beans now. He's really got to go for it. Poor old Rage having another spin down in 17th. But
just goes round the outside of Ghost. So those soft tyres, I feel like they're all struggling now on them.
Yeah, I think these soft tyres are dead. I think, you know, this is why I was surprised to see so many people. We got another yellow flag in Sector 2.
You're going to have a change for the lead, I reckon, here. Salu's been saving his earth. He's at 100% as they exit the chicane. Your dad, J.R. Mason, got half a second on him as they exited, but he'll be able to get close and then get the job done either here. Yep, he's going for it into the chicane. And your dad just has to kind of let him by. There's no point in fighting that one because he's going to get DRS to try and pull away here. So Salu's saving, and look at the penalties coming in. 3rd, 4th, 5th, all have them. Ghost is into the pits. Matthias carries on those soft compounded tyres.
Yes, I do think penalty situation is going to decide today's race. You can see, as M125 spins, and he's in the wall. Surely he has rear wing damage. He hit that wall so hard with the rear of his car.
Oh, he spun again. He spun it again, and he's got wing damage this time. His car is ghosted, and look at this, he's falling down the order. And Lawrence will be breathing a sigh of relief here on those hard compound tyres as M125. Look at it, the rear's gone.
I think his rear wing is pretty knackered, to be honest. He did hit it so hard. I'll stay on board and see what it's like in the next braking zone. Yeah, he's got no grip at all. He's really struggling. I think this could be the end of M125's race.
Could this be the end of Ferrari's championship hopes as we see J.R. Mason come into the pits from those medium compounded tyres? So the first
Nick,
medium...
Sorry to interrupt. We were so focused on M125, Salo is down in 9th position. He lost his entirety of his front wing, I think.
So driver's struggling on what looks like a greasy track.
I think this is what it is. Yeah, you can see that Salo has got he's changing his front wing. Mason decides to box.
M125, he's retired. M125's retired. That's him done. He's retired in the pits. That is the championship decided. We didn't want it to be decided like that, but Lawrence is yours, season 25 P2 tier champion.
Yeah, brilliant drive from Lawrence now. So he now knows that he's just racing now for pride. He knows that the title will be his at the end of this race. He knows he's done. Can he make a recovery now from 14th?
And what can Cowboy do as the sole Ferrari? Can he try and claw, do something special? He's got to do something special here to try and get that championship for Ferrari. But as you said, I think M125 had huge rear wing damage and therefore had to retire from the race, because if the car is that bad, it's undrivable. Took the sensible decision. You're seeing drivers come into the pits. Matthias off of those soft compounded tyre. Quinn leads the way with Jess second, Proverb third, KK fourth, and Funky in fifth. Those are your top 5 at the moment. Let's show you who's come into the pits and who hasn't. So Cam is in 6th. He's your net race leader, having stopped once.
Yeah, this strategy from Cam looks like it's paying off at this moment in time. He's on the hard tyres, been on them for 5 laps. Now, what's going to be interesting, is he going to want to go on another set of softs, or is he going to go on mediums towards the end? That we'll have to wait and see. Joe now is in 9th, fighting with Cowboy, and passes him round the outside on the fresh hards. That's a great manoeuvre from Joe.
Yeah, great manoeuvre there, definitely, round the outside. Oh, and Cowboy's left the session again, so he's obviously having some connection issues. And what we thought was, going to be a really interesting, final race in terms of the Constructors' Championship. And look at the warning, the time penalties coming in. Just now pits from what was, I think, 3rd position. Okay, takes now that podium spot. So do we think some of these drivers who are now, kind of leading the top 4, whether they're just hoping for a safety car to take advantage? I can't believe we haven't had one yet.
I'm really, really surprised we haven't had one yet, especially with the incidents that we've had. But, I mean, if there was a safety car now, it would flip this race on its head. OKK there up in 3rd, Proverb in 2nd, Quinn out leading with a big lead, you have to say, a 7-second lead over Proverb. He does have that 3-second time penalty, which isn't going to help him much, as Cam overtakes Funky and is now up into 4th place.
Yeah, so Cam has the major undercut, but he's on 6-lap old hard compounded tyres, so he's going to get the undercut twice. But you'd expect towards the end of the race, there's going to be some drivers hunting him down. Quinn's got a decent gap over Proverb as well, leading the race. So Kick Sauber looking to have a strong result here as he comes into the pits, as does Proverb. What's the KK going to do? A KK stays out and is leading the race as Rage unfortunately retires and causes a safety car.
Oh! Now, is this going to help? Is this going to help OKK? Is this perfectly timed? Sorry, okay, not OKK, sorry, but there, this is actually screwed OKK. This is really, really hurt.
He's got through the safety car, Cole. So he's not... The safety car hasn't picked him up. He just went through turn 2 as the safety car came out the pits. So at some point this lap, his delta's gonna... Cam's got through as well. So who's the safety car going to be trying to pick up? I would have thought it would have been Cam, but Cam overtook the safety car.
I tell you who this did help, and it was Quinn. So Quinn is now in 3rd place. I'm just going to have a look now, just double check. Let's have a look at the pit stops.
It's just OKK.
So, yeah, just OKK. So that makes it a Kick Sauber 1-2 at the minute.
I think this has still helped OKK because he's going to be doing his pit stop not at racing speed, where all the other drivers are still having a delta. So Cam's still on delta and will do so until I believe he crosses the line, in which case he'll be free to go. So all these drivers, let's keep an eye on OKK here as
Cam's pitting.
Cam's pitting for a second time.
Pitted. This is very interesting. Now this could be either a stroke of genius. Medium tyres. Will medium tyres last that long, Nick? I think that's going to be a very difficult ask.
He's going to have to box again, that's for sure. KK's going to come out in 8th position, and Cam's going to come out in 9th. So, KK I still think he would have fallen further down the order as Lawrence gets a time penalty whilst behind the safety car. So far the only drivers not to get a penalty are Mason, Jess, Cam, Funky, Salu, and Cowboy, who we know has left the session and has reported in the chat that he was unable to take control of his car. So barring something strange. Alpine are also going to be winning the Constructors' Championship.
Yes, it does look that way. Although Lawrence does have I think how many time penalties he's got, and we'll just go through them now. Let me have a little look. So, Trash Panda's got 6 seconds, and everyone else has 3 seconds. But we're only on lap 12. I suspect we're going to see more time penalties from those drivers as well through the race. Just looking at the chat here now, Lukey says, no way Cam will take those to the end.
But think about it, he does have another set of mediums, so he's going to go medium, but I don't know why he chose to box then, because he was he was the race leader with his teammate behind, so he could have just carried on, been in the top. Let's look at that. Quinn wants to overtake the safety car here around turn 2, and you can see Skrillex at the back now, the other Alpine driver who would win the Constructors' Championship. He has raced, I don't think he's missed a race this season. Let's have a quick look. So, where is he? Skrillex. No, he has missed a few races this season, but still well deserved to be a part of a Constructors' Championship winning team.
Yes, so let's have a look. Let's see Skrillex's best. So his best result was actually his first race, which was 4th, which I believe was Austria, if memory serves me. So that's his best race, and ironically, is also Cowboy's best race. So they started the season very, very strong, but unfortunately tailored off. Skrillex down in 16th in the championship, and Cowboy 15th.
I expect to
look
see
at Jess as well up in 7th, having another great season. So Jess is, where is Jess in the title? Let's have a look. She's 13th in the title. Her teammate Jamie up in 8th. They've had some. I think they've had a great season. We know Jess has taken a lot of assists off as well, Nick, and that's a huge learning curve.
And speaking of learning curve, Quinn is leading us away at the safety car restart. Needs to time it right so that the safety car, you can see just in the front there, is coming into the pits. So he is now the leader, and he will decide when he wants to floor it. You can see some drivers behind. There's a McLaren of Ghost still weaving in the background there. And when is Quinn going to go for it? He has gone. He's gone for it. So Joe just behind in 2nd place. Joe's had a brilliant, season since he's joined. And I think if he was to complete a full season, he'd definitely be fighting for a top 3 trophy.
Without a shadow of a doubt. You can see now that he's hunting down Quinn now as well on those hard tyres. Quinn's got the advantage here a little bit. He's got 2 lap younger hard tyres as Trash Panda gets another 3-second time penalty, and they're coming in thick and fast now, Nick.
Yeah, Cam's got to get past all these hard compound runners, and first one up is OKK, who's on fresh tyres. They pitted together, and is he going to send it down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. I think that was probably a wise move there from Cam. There's a bigger race to that move.
Yeah, is he going to have a go at the hairpin? Oh, he thinks about it.
Who was that? Funky. Was that Funky? No, that was Salou.
That was Salou. Has he caused damage to Quinn's car? I don't think so. I think
he ghosted.
Cam's just about got away with it.
I think he ghosted, thankfully. But what happened there? It looks like he just locked the rears. And who's trying to go down the inside now? That is Proverb. Rocky Proverb. No, that's Trash Panda.
Oh, Panda's out. Panda is out of the race. He is in Champions War.
Virtual safety car. So he went down the inside, tried to get past, and just carried too much speed, and met the wall of champions. So not a champion himself here at One Hub, but completed a couple races, and we hope he'll be back next season to continue his learning curve.
Yes, let's hope so. I mean, he's just, you can see that he's a much better driver now than he ever has been, to be honest, just not getting a lot of luck.
So, virtual safety car means the drivers must all stick to a delta. JR Mason has got a bit of a gap since this previous safety car restart. Who else? Matthias has just gone over a second. But I imagine this is all about making sure you get as close to the red as you can. but not dipping into the red, because you will be given a drive-through penalty when you get that virtual safety car. And what's happening there is just is letting Ghost back through. So not sure if there was a bit of a moment there or what happens. But yeah.
Yeah, Jess having a great race now, up in 7th place. If you look at it, technically she's 4th, because she is without a penalty and the 3 drivers ahead as Ghost pits. So now, Ghost, is he going to go? What tyres Ghost going to choose? He's going to... Oh, Mason gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Oh, what a shame.
It's the second time this season, isn't it?
That will put pay to his top 3 result in the championship. That is
costly.
That's very costly. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that.
It's very difficult sometimes, depending where you are on the track, what corner you're at. It can sometimes be really hard. Proverb up in 4th position. By the way, Lawrence on 10 lap old hard tyres. Cam's got a lot of drivers to get through here, to get back near his teammate. So J.R. Mason, when is he going to take this drive through? Is he going to come into the pits this lap?
I did just watch it. It is nothing short of horrendous luck. He was actually 1 second into the delta, and all of a sudden the delta jumped to 2 seconds under in the space of about 10 meters. So Mason didn't do anything wrong there at all. Has just got unlucky with the safety car.
That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. At least it's a short pit lane. That's all we will say. And he's got good pace, but he will be coming out in 13th place with only Ghost behind. But Colt, we've seen a safety car. We've seen a virtual safety car. Who knows what's going to happen? As Joe is all over the back of Quinn. He wants to taste a bit of champagne here tonight. Does Joe?
Yeah, he's driving really well. Look how close he is. He's not got DRS, which maybe it was disabled for the VSC, but he hasn't got DRS yet. But will he have it down the back straight? Is he close enough to have a go in the hairpin?
Thinks better of it.
Not quite. Yeah.
Lawrence.
So he's going to line him up now. Is the DRS available to him? Let's see that. You can see the white line. That was the detection point. This is the activation point. And yes, he does have it. Is he close enough to have a go in the final chicane?
Remember, he's going to get a double. He wasn't using too much oil, so he goes a little bit deep into the chicane, so he's not going to be able to now do a move into turn 1. But I tell you who has got through, your champion. Lawrence has got through back up into 3rd place on those 12 lap old hard compound tyres. So he's still got a little bit of life left in them. Skrillex has just been passed, or just trying to pass Salou, and Salou manages to keep the position in 10th at the moment. Matthias is all over the back of Funky, so plenty of battles going on here. Cole, Cam's up into 5th. OKK's having a great race in 6th as well. I'd love to see him get a good result here tonight.
Yes, I know I shouldn't be this biased, but come on, Mike, let's have a good result. He's had nothing short of horrendous bad luck all season long. He's without a shadow of a doubt having his best race of the season. Praying that he returns to One Hub in season 26, and this good performance should give him some good confidence as well. You can see now he's chasing down Cam. He's got a good gap over Jess, and he's within DRS of Cam ahead.
Yeah, I tell you, Quinn seems to have really good traction out of that hairpin, which means Joe wasn't able to try and do a move here on lap 18 now, lap 19, so he'll have to try and regenerate some ERS, and Lawrence gets himself another 3-second time penalty. So Cam is looking pretty, just on the fact that he doesn't have any time penalties at the moment, as is Jess, as is Funky. So these guys will jump up the order as KK gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and Funky now gets some commentator's cursed in, didn't I?
Whoops. Ghost actually sets the fastest lap of the race on his medium tyres. Now he has completed, let me just double check that I'm not lying. Yes, he has completed 2 stops. Now can he get those mediums to the end of the race? It's going to be very, very difficult, but I think it's just about doable. Just.
So Funky and Cam, you're closest to doing an overtake, but the problem for Cam here now is oh, what's happened? What's happened to KK? He spun it on the exit of the hairpin.
Oh, no.
He's hit his front wing. A virtual safety car again, so another virtual safety car. He'll have to climb back to the pits and get some repair work done on that Aston Martin. Oh, we were just talking about him as Cam comes into the pits. So Cam's coming in for his final medium stop here. I don't know what strategy he's played as KK gets himself a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Salou decides to come in and change his wing. J.R. Mason is going to move up the order. This will be close between himself and Cam. Cam just comes out in front.
Just comes out ahead. Yeah, this is a wild strategy from Cam. To be honest, the safety cars have really saved him in this race, because I think the strategy that he chose was weird, to say the least. But he's put himself in a great position now. You know, you say that it was a bad strategy, though. If you think about it, Cam probably thought there's bound to be safety cars. I'll use them to my advantage.
Matthias has got a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. But the strange thing is he actually lost a position as it popped up. So I think the game's playing a bit of silly buggers here with some of us tonight. But look at Jess. 5th place, no penalties. She's on for a storming result if she can carry on. I tell you what though, look at the speed that Funky had over her.
Wow! That straight line speed in that RB is astonishing. Funky's obviously gone for very, very low front and rear wing settings because he went past Jess like she was in reverse.
And Proverb having another good race. So, Colt, maybe you can have a quick look at the standings and we can see kind of who's in the best position for 3rd place at the moment.
So, at the minute, prime position to clinch 3rd place in the championship is Proverb. He's only 3 points behind Mason, but he's up in 4th position. That is the prime spot of the minute. So at this moment in time, it'll be Proverb in 3rd, Cam in 4th, and Mason in 5th. So that is what the current standings are, but we got 14 laps to go. Nothing is over yet. We've had so many safety cars. You know, this race is not going to be over until that very last lap. It's going to be so tight. Cam now, he's on those fresh mediums. I suspect he's going to have the net race lead, possibly. I don't know. It's going to be very tight.
I think he will, but he's going to be under attack towards the end of the race. That's for sure. As no one is actually in. Oh, Matthias. Let's jump over Matthias, who's gone for the soft compound tyre. No one's. He's coming into the pits. That's why. He did have to serve a drive-through, so I imagine this time it'll be a pit stop as Ghost continues to decrease the fastest lap of the race. This is his drive-through, by the way, Matthias. So, yep, he exits the pit lane now and down in 14th and last place. Excuse me, Cole. But just a reminder, John served a drive-through now and he's back up in 9th. And he's kind of on the same strategy as everyone else in the top 10 except for Cam. So this is pretty interesting.
He's actually done a very good comeback here. You know, especially if there's a late safety car, because every driver ahead of him, really, bar Cam and Jess, have got time penalties. So he's actually in a very good position here. He's just got to forget about the drive-through and just keep pushing now.
Quinn's dropped Joe, by the way, for the lead at the moment. So, you know, we haven't spoke much about Quinn, but he's led a lot of this race.
He has. He's driven so well. He said he wasn't keen on this track. He said he was going to really struggle. But his pace has been brilliant. You can see, like you said, Nick, he's pulling away from Joe. Joe's pulling away from Lawrence.
Lawrence is pulling away from Proverb.
Yeah, it's all Lawrence does have 6 seconds of time penalties, though, so that is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, because that's going to be crucial towards the end of the race.
So Cam gets ahead of Skrillex in the middle sector here on that little mini DRS straight, but I want to watch on boards whether that's a wise move or is a bit of a poor exit does Skrillex onto the grass. What I wanted to see was whether that was a wide move, as Lawrence gets another 3-second time penalty here. Our champion likes cutting these corners in Canada.
Yeah, so that's 9 seconds for Lawrence now. That's going to be him tumbling down the order. Lawrence will not want a late safety car to bunch his pack up. He really won't want that at all. But he is pulling away from Proverb in 4th place.
And Jess all over the back of the RB of Funky. Looked for a move the last couple laps into turn 1, but thought better of it. So this is going to be interesting to see whether she's going to be able to, as Joe gets another penalty, she's going to be able to get the move done, or does Funky have such straight line speed that DRS makes no difference to him?
No, that's it. But look, I'm really surprised how quick Funky is down that straight. Now let's see, can Jess, she's right on the gearbox of Funky now. She's got 57, 50% ERS. Is it close enough? Let's have a look.
She's using her airs, used it all, but look, she's only just getting alongside, and Funky's able to keep the position. Let's see how much airs the Funky has.
Isn't it?
He's got 60% left still.
It's crazy. The straight line speed Funky's got. To be honest, I think he's driven exceptional, because obviously he's got low wings, and he's managing to do, quite well in the corners. I know Funky is holding Jess up here to a certain degree, but even so, absolutely brilliant from Funky. And
I tell you what, Cam's got to try and get past him as well if he wants to, do well here. But these drivers, all on the hard compounded tyre, the top 6, I'd expect to see them in soon. But look at the delta. They're going to have, 6 laps fresher medium tyres than Cam? Or are they going to go long and go to the softs? Quinn, I reckon, could.
Quinn could, and to be honest, I think Quinn should, because he's pulling out. Look, he's got a 3-second lead over Joe now. He is really driving brilliantly. It's definitely his best race of the season. I know I said that about Paul.
He's in the pits.
Completely jinxed them. Now Jess having another go at Funky.
Can't get the move done. It's got a better exit here. Can she use her ERS to try and get past? No? Funky's got an answer. He's not even using his ERS. He's still on 40-odd%. Jess is empty. And where is Quinn going to come out, by the way? Quinn's going to come out in 6th position behind his teammate by, let's wait for the gap, 2.5 seconds on 6 laps fresh and mediums. I think Cam's made a mistake here, Colt.
I think he has. I think this could be in Quinn's hands here. I just wish I could be on the phone to Quinn here, telling him now, right, just don't get any more penalties. Keep it nice and clean. This race is in your hands. Let's see, he's already gained 2/10 on him.
Look at the top 2. Joe must have made a mistake, because Lawrence is all over the back of him now, about to pass him with DRS. I think they're friends in real life, but not on the racetrack. Lawrence takes the lead of this race. Your champion. All 4 of these top 4 need to come into the pits. Anyone coming now? They're both coming, and Lawrence gets himself a 10-second time penalty.
Whoa. Lawrence is picking up time penalties left, right and centre at the minute. On the fresh mediums. I'm assuming Joe will do the same. Yes, he will. But Lawrence is having a bit of a nightmare of a race.
Yeah, he's going to be crowned the champion. But look at his teammate now up into 3rd position. So Skrillex is on those hard compounded tyres. And let's see who needs to complete a stop still. So Cowboy. Everyone else has completed 2 stops. So will Skrillex try and go to the end here on these hard compounded tyres?
That would be just doable. It is doable. He is going to be a bit of a sitting duck. As you can see, you can see the extra grip that Lawrence has got. But Skrillex, look, that's another driver with very good straight line speed. I was surprised Lawrence didn't breeze past him there.
If he can try and hang on to these two within the DRS, as you can see, Joe's going to go down the inside into. If you can try and hang on to them with the DRS, remember he only needs to be within a second as Joe gets past Lawrence as well. So the Alpine's now going side by side with Lawrence ahead, with Joe ahead, and has the DRS. Who else has the DRS? As you can see, Salou in the background there.
Look at these three. They're so close. The two Alpine drivers, they don't want to take each other out. You know, they're still fighting for Constructors' Championship, yeah? Lawrence now in the inside, into turn 1, up into 4th place.
The gap hovering about 1.9 to 2 seconds between the top two, as there's yellow flags in Sector 3. Don't know who's that for. Not sure at all, but 1.6 now the gap between these two. Remember, Quinn needs to pass and get a 3-second gap to Cam if he wants to win this race.
Yes, he is catching him though. I mean, it was when they come out of the pit lane 2 laps ago, it was 2.5 seconds. It's now 1.3.
1.1.
Quinn is really pushing 1.1.
Here comes the Mercedes into the hairpin, late on the brakes, and that is a move for 6th position on Salou. That was a great move, and I think he'll get the DRS because the detection point's before the hairpin. Yes, he does. So look at this, he's going to try and get Skrillex now. Goes, look at that, thought about it, sent it to the inside, and you're right, Skrillex does have some brilliant straight line speed, but can't hold off the Mercedes man who's on a charge here is Proverb.
Proverb is driving out of his skin at the minute. He's done in what, in my opinion, is the overtake of the season into that hairpin. He knows 3rd place trophy is on offer, so he's got to gun it. We got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Who is that? I think it's Skrillex. Yeah, Skrillex is round. Skrillex has spun. So that's not going to do Alpine any good, really.
That's all 4 drivers in that Constructors' battle. Having moments here in Canada. And speaking of a moment, will it be Quinn or will it be Cam's moment? The gap is coming down to a second. I don't think it'll get DRS. Will Quinn? Or is that the detection point? No, I'm sure the detection point's just before the hairpin. That's just another line on the track. Let's see. No, he doesn't have the DRS. So it is before the hairpin. But look at the gap. Quinn had some brilliant traction out of that hairpin. And you can see how much he's gaining on Cam.
Yeah, he's really, really pushing now, but he can't afford any more time penalties. He's got to pass him quickly because there's only 5 laps left and he's got to pull 3 seconds out as well, which is going to be very difficult to do. Lawrence sets the fastest lap of the race on those medium tyres.
Look at Jess and Funky. Funky's just got past again, and Jess is going to be sick and tired of seeing the back of Funky's car there. Of course, Funky, a former champion here in One Hub Racing. But look at the gap between the top two. It's about to get started. Here it comes, and I think there's a back marker ahead of them as well. That's a KK. So KK on those soft tyres going for the fastest lap. And look at this. Quinn goes through. To me, that looked like Cam let him through. And I think Cam's just going to try and hold on here within DRS.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think he's just... I think he's just going to try and stick within 3 seconds of Quinn. Quinn now has got to gun it. He's really got to push hard now. Can he get outside 3 seconds worth of time penalties to clinch this race with 5 laps to go?
Yeah, surely he's not going to play the team game here and help his teammate console that 3rd place in the championship. Surely when a race wins up for grabs for someone like Quinn, he's got to go after it.
Yeah, he's got to go for it, because at the moment, even if Cam finishes 2nd, that's enough to win 3rd place. So Quinn's just got to think of himself here, I think, and he's just got to gun it and try and get 3 seconds as Skrillex gets another 3 seconds down in 10th.
So the gap is just almost at a second. So I think he's going for this, is Quinn. And fair play to him. Well deserved if he did. As you said, 2nd place will be enough for Cam to clinch that 3rd place trophy. And you've got to feel for the drivers who are going to miss out. JR Mason, Proverbs had a brilliant race as well in fifth. And I just think, it comes down to not making mistakes here in Canada. When the pressure's on, Cam's had a brilliant pace, but I don't think his strategy's been all that.
No, I don't think his strategy was right at all. I think he will be thanking his lucky stars with the timing of the safety car, because I think he would have been in a lot of trouble.
Joe, meanwhile, is back on the back of Lawrence, so these two are going to continue this battle after Lawrence set the fastest lap of the race a couple laps ago. Another 3-second time penalty for OKK. And you can see the Williams man is going to try and make a move on the champion. Maybe that's a bit of a statement heading into next season.
Yes, it could well be. Hoping that all these drivers sign up for next season as well, because I think we're going to see a lot different championship, to be honest. With the likes of Salo and Joe improving dramatically as well.
Yeah, I think it could be a number of drivers. Even your dad. He's had 7 pole positions. You don't get that without having some great speed. So I just think that next season could be anyone's, and it could be even more exciting than season 25. The gap, by the way, 1.9 between the top two. So it looks like Quinn has just got another 3 laps to try and get the gap to 3 seconds.
It's going to be so tight. I'm just going to have a look now. Let's have a look at the. Just going to have a look at the rankings, at the database. Let's see.
I tell you what, Cam's going to come under attack here from the two behind, Lawrence and Joe. So would 4th place be enough for Cam?
It all depends on where Proverb's going to be. It's going to be very close. So, yeah, there's only 1 point between Cam and Proverb. So as long as Cam finishes ahead of Proverb, that's going to be enough.
Yellow flag.
Salo is down. Salo has spun and he's lost his front wing.
Wow,
he's had such a up and down race. Poor old Salo. Puts Mason back up.
Is going to try and get the position on Cam here. So Cam will drop down to 3rd. Will JR Mason be able to do anything with this? If Cam finished 4th, would JR Mason be able to... I tell you what, he hasn't got a penalty either, does JR Mason, as a KK gets. And look at that. Cam touches the wall, and Lawrence gets ahead. Is he going to lose another position here to Joe? Joe thinks about it, but can't get the move done, and it looks like Quinn could win this race. Let's look at penalties. 19 seconds for Lawrence, 6 for Joe. So, I don't think JR Mason will move up the order, but if he finishes in 8th, and Cam finishes, Cam's probably going to finish in 2nd, regardless of whether these guys get past. He will take that 3rd place trophy.
I think so. So I've just looked at the database, and Quinn has 70 race finishes and 3 wins. So can he make it number 4? He's got the lead that he needs, but he's got to be careful. He can't afford another time penalty. He's got his lead now. Now he should just be controlling his pace, making sure he stays within track limits, and he will clinch his 4th one-up racing victory.
Who's going to finish ahead on track of Jess and Funky? I know Jess doesn't have penalties at the moment, but those two have been battling all race long. And Joe not able to get the move done on Cam this time around, sliding the rear out of that final corner. We are on the final lap. Quinn is starting, and he just needs to keep that gap above 3 seconds. 3.4 at the moment, 3.3, 3.2. So Cam's further behind. Will he gain anything on the last lap in DRS?
This is what he's going to need now. He's going to really need to pull himself back in. Joe gets another time penalty. Right at the death. That's not going to help things at all for Joe. So this really puts Cam now in a sensible position. He shouldn't really be fighting now. He should just be bringing it home. He has got DRS. Not only to attack, but to defend as well from Joe behind. It's going to be so close.
Well,
it's going to be interesting now to see where Proverb finishes as well.
you jump on board with that battle as Joe goes to pass, tries to pass Cam, and I'm gonna just gets ahead of Funky. Yes, that's before the hairpin, so maybe that was an orchestrated move by Funky. But let's not take anything away from this man. Quinn is coming across the line to take his fourth One Hub Racing win in Canada. There he goes, and he's got the gap. We'll confirm it in a second, but look at this. Lawrence crosses the line and crashes, so Joe moves up to third at the moment. Who else is going to jump up? So Proverb just moves up to third, just jumps up onto the podium.
Brilliant! What a result for Jess. Thoroughly deserved. She was there or thereabouts all race. A great qualifying as well. What a fantastic result. What a way to end season 25 for Jess.
Yes, and we can see we've got a few drivers to cross the line. Alpine are the champions. Lawrence is your drivers' champion here in season 25. So Lawrence is a two-time One Hub Racing drivers' champion. And just let that sink in for a moment, Cole. What a feeling it must be.
Oh, must be delighted. You know, these drivers, you know, they spend a lot of time on the game. You know, it's not just a case of every Sunday night. It's, you know, they practice during the week. They do, you know, drivers will do a bit of time trial to get used to the track. Then they'll do race sims to work out the best strategy to use. So there's a lot of time and effort that goes into these drivers as well that we mustn't forget about to make the night's racing even better.
Well, there you have it. Quinn takes the final win of season 25. Lawrence takes your championship. M125 suffered heartbreak earlier on and will finish in second with a silver trophy. And Cam, who only joined the season in round 7, has jumped up the order and he will take the bronze third place trophy with, I believe, J.R. Mason, I believe Proverb finishing in 4th, J.R. Mason finishing in 5th in the championship, but I'll let you quickly run through the order.
Yes, so Sir Quinn there at the top, taking his 4th victory. Cam in 2nd, Klitsch in 3rd in the title, Jess in 3rd, Joe in 4th, then Proverb, Funky, Lawrence, Mason, Ghost, Matthias, Skrillex, Sallow, Cowboy, OKK, Trash Panda in 15th, Rage in 16th, and M125 in 17th place.
Well, Jess stealing a podium there in the final race of the season. And what a race it is. It's time for our Driver of the Day nominations. And being the gentleman that I am, Colin, I will let you go first.
For me, it's between two drivers, and I'm going to have to give it to Quinn. Absolutely brilliant performance. Overtook Cam on track. Pulled that 3-second lead that he needed to. Didn't gain any more penalties because he got that 3 seconds very, very early on. So my question for you is, Quinn, at what stage did you think you could win that race? How nervous were you towards the last couple of laps of not getting another time penalty?
Alrighty, and my pick was also going to be between two drivers. You picked one of them, so I'll pick the other. My nomination is going to go to Jess. And my question is going to be not about your podium, Jess. My question is going to be, how did you find Funky straight line speed there in Canada? Because it looked like you spent most of the race just trying to get past him.
Well, I reckon she could do 3D CAD drawings on the back of that RB. She spent so much time looking at it.
Yes, it was. It's interesting, isn't it, how different setups can just lead to, good results. Just for track specific, we saw last week in Silverstone the way your dad used his ERS, and straight line speed here, Funky propelled him up the order. But let's not take anything away. Lawrence is your season 25 P2 tier champion. He is a double One Hub Racing champion here in the league. Big congratulations to him and Alpine, who take the Constructors' Championship. And let's just quickly find out, Cole. Alpine, with all their previous team names. It says on here that they've got 1 drivers and 1 constructors, but I'm not sure whether Cam's already gone and updated it. So this could be their first. I'll have to confirm that. because I'm not totally sure whether Cam's updated this already. You know, sometimes he can be a bit hot on this. So yeah, I think that could be their first. Unfortunately, I can't confirm. But congratulations to them. Congratulations to Skrillex, obviously, as well. He was a part of that championship winning team. And Cole, before I thank the sponsors for the final time, final thoughts on season 25.
What a season! Um, and credit to everyone within One Up as well for getting the tiers so close. Um, I know it takes a lot of work to get it right, to make sure that the racing is close, that no one walks away with it, and that it's all lovely and you know a chance for everyone to win races. We've had so many different race winners this season. Quinn, Mason, M125, Cowboy, Cam, Lawrence, just to name but a few. So what a season. And anyone listening in, if you fancy a little bit of it, keep an eye out on OneUp socials because a new season will be starting very soon.
Yeah, news of season 26 coming in December. The admins, the stewards, the commentators, the drivers as well. We're all going to have a bit of a break. Much needed break, it has to be said. And then we'll be back stronger than ever, as we always are at One Hub Racing next season. But I just want to quickly thank everybody in the P2 tier, for all the drivers for putting on such a great show for us this season. Great racing. You're a great group of individuals and teams collectively. And I hope to see you all sign up next season. That would make me very happy. And speaking of happy, our sponsors are Next Level Racing, of course, providing prizes. So keep an eye on our socials to find out who's winning over £2,000 worth of prizes. It's not just all about finishing in the top of the standings in order to get your hands on some Next Level Racing gear. Pure Sim Gear, the driver with the most fastest laps and poles combined will win a pair of Pure Sim Racing socks or gloves. We know Joe Mason is up there for that award. He'll be keeping an eye on the final race of the season in the P1 tier, which starts at 7 o'clock. Vespertine, obviously, you can purchase some One Hub Racing merchandise and win some One Hub Racing merchandise, which is provided by them. And SimGrid, we run all of our leagues through their powerful community of sim racing drivers. Colin, it's been emotional. Thank you for joining me in the commentary box this season. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We always have a good laugh, and these drivers put on some great racing. So, yeah, time to say goodbye.
Yes, and unfortunately, Nick, I know that you're not available for commentary next season. So let's hope we team up again on F125.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations to all the drivers, all the winners, all those who took part, and thank you, everyone, for watching. As I said, the P1 tier will be live at 7 p.m. tonight. So best of luck to all those drivers. Make sure you tune in and show your support. They'll be racing in Canada. But for us, for the P2 tier, for Colin and myself, big thank you, and we love you all. See you next season.
Good night, all. See you next season.